Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Sherry, and we provide the rest. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvre. Why, we only...
Have you ever wondered what chemistry goes on in cooking?
No. Well, too bad. Because Craig's making us talk about it for at least 10 minutes.
We're going to talk about the chemistry involved in cooking one meal.
The chemistry in cooking meat.
And in defrosting vegetables.
And making dessert, so a devil's food cake.
Big old steering steak, do we have one dear? Beep, 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 it's a mighty good food, it's a great A meal when I'm in the mood. Cowpokes will come from near and far when you throw a few ribeyes.
When cooking steak, the most significant change occurring on the death of an animal is the circulation stops, with the result that oxygen is no longer sent to the animal's cells. This means the reaction begins to take place under an anaerobic condition. One of the major consequences of this is that the pH decreases because in the absence of oxygen, glucose is converted to lactic acid rather than CO2 and H2O. This tenderizes the meat. With the accumulation of lactic acid, the pH falls from 7 to 5.5. And at the same time, the energy-rich ATP reserve is depleted. The drop in pH is a desirable feature as low pH slows down the growth of microorganisms and enhances flavor, juiciness, and color of the meat to give it an attractive, saleable product. Myoglobin is the major pigment in meat. In different environments, it has different forms, each with a slightly different color. For example, in cured meat it is pink, in very fresh meat it is purplish red, and in meat that has been exposed to air it's bright red. By changing the environment in which the meat is stored and packaged, the color of the meat can be controlled. 3 components of an animal carcass with specialty value are fat, collagen, and glands. Meat is composed of, in descending order, water, protein, fat, and other water-soluble organic materials and water-soluble minerals, such as K and P. Small amounts of Na, Mg, Ca, and Zn are also present. The fat portion includes some fat-soluble substances, including some vitamins. Meat is an important source of amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, minerals and vitamins, as well as being a good source of energy. When marinating in meats, the acid causes the tissue to break down, allowing more moisture to be absorbed and giving a juicier end product. However, too much acid can be detrimental to the end product. A good marinade will have a delicate balance of spices, acids, and oil. It is generally not recommended that raw marinated meats be frozen, as the marinade can break down the surface and make the outer layer turn mushy. Now it's time to start cooking. When meat is cooked, it changes color, and the flavors are also changed. This phenomenon is taken for granted by many cooks, but is a result of chemical reaction caused when the temperature of the meat is increased. These chemical reactions were first studied by a French scientist named Louis Camel Maillard as part of his PhD thesis in 1912, so the reaction is known as the Maillard reaction. In fact, this is not a single reaction, but a complex series of reactions which occur between chemicals that are found in meat, which result in new chemicals which have strong flavors and also cause the brown coloration of cooked meat. The reaction is not limited to meat, however. The browning in toast, beer, and many other foods is the result of the Maillard reaction, which is an example of non-enzymatic browning. The starting point for the Maillard reaction is 2 chemicals, amino acids and reducing sugars. Amino acids make up the group of chemicals which form the monomers for important polymers known as proteins, so there are a lot of them available in a steak. The important part of the amino acid is the amino group, which is a nitrogen atom attached to 2 hydrogen atoms. Reducing sugars are sugars, like glucose, that are common in many foods. They are molecules containing 5 or 6 carbon atoms with hydroxyl groups attached to them, but one of them also has an oxygen atom double bonded to it. This is an important group. These 2 chemicals exist side by side in meat and will hardly react at all until heat is applied. Then the reaction speeds up greatly with the amino acid groups from the amino acid displacing the double bonded oxygen. The nitrogen forms a double bond with the carbon and a molecule of water is formed. The new molecule can then reorganize itself into 3 structures which are known as isomers. These are called amidori compounds. From this point, a series of alternative reactions can occur, producing a range of different compounds, including 2 important flavor compounds known as furfural and hydroxyl methyl furfural, or HMF. The brown colors come from other products of the Maillard reaction called melanoidins, which may have beneficial antioxidant properties.
time for the theme song.
Yeah, Bob. What do I do?
Let's see. I know. You play the guitar.
Bob, I don't have any hands.
Oh, you're right. Well, okay. Well, you play this.
Okay.
I want to play that.
When you buy vegetables at the store and you want to preserve them by freezing them, it's better to freeze them faster for the best results. Fast freezing creates smaller ice crystals, which then causes less damage to the cells of the vegetables. Sometimes freezer burn occurs to vegetables. It appears as grayish brown leathery spots on frozen food and occurs when air reaches the food surface and dries up the product. Freezer burn can happen at any time if it is not securely wrapped in airtight packaging. Color changes result from chemical changes in the food's pigment, and although freezer burn is not something desirable, it does not make the food unsafe and can still be eaten. When you come to the point where you want to cook or defrost your frozen vegetables, or the peas in this case, you can put them in a pot of boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius. This is because that is the boiling point of water. However, in higher elevations, boiling points are lower. Like in Denver, Colorado, the boiling point of water is approximately 95 degrees Celsius. This is because pressure and a change in composition of the liquid may alter the boiling point of the liquid.
Come and put your name on it. Put your name on it. Come and put your name on it. Your name, but you wanna put your name on it. Put your name on it. Come and put your name on it.
It's not even my birthday, but I wanna lick the icing off.
Okay, we're not going to make cake from scratch, but we do have the pre-made box which has everything in it as it would have if we were making it from scratch. First of all, the flour is the bulk of the baked item. It's 79% gluten, and that is the substance that gives the cake its fine texture and supports the ingredients during rising. Yeast is a plant that feeds on starch and sugars, which releases carbon dioxide, alcohol, and sugar. The carbon dioxide bubbles give the dough a light and airy texture. The fat gives a softer texture and helps prevent the carbon dioxide bubbles from escaping from the mixture too soon. Okay, the fat provides a direct food source for the yeast, improving its action, also shortens the time needed for the dough to mature. It releases the carbon dioxide according to the equation. Baking soda produces a strong base, Na2CO3, which has to be neutralized. Baking powder is usually used instead. Baking powder is baking soda with an acid added. This neutralizes the base and produces more CO2 according to the following equation. Beaten egg whites, like fat, help to retain gas bubbles, while egg alone acts as a binder. Salt adds flavor and strengthens soft fat and sugar mixtures. Egg yolks are an emulsifier that helps the oil-based and water-based components of the cake mix together. When eggs are cooked, the protein molecules become uncurled when exposed to heat and create new molecular bonds with other nearby protein molecules. When the egg is completely cooked, it helps form a protein network that gives the cake a structure. Canola oil is recognized for its nutritional qualities. It contains the lowest level of saturated fat of any fat or oil on the market. It's high in both monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fats.
Come and put your name on it. Put your name on it. Come and put your name on it. Your name, but you wanna put your name on it. Put your name on it. Come and put your name on it.
It's not even my birthday, but I wanna lick the
Baking a cake is an endothermic reaction because heat is being brought into the system to turn the batter into a baked product.
Today you learned the chemistry behind cooking meat, cooking vegetables,
And baking a cake.
See, aren't you happy you learned about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh.